Deus ex machina, a phrase meaning God from the machine, is progressively being used to describe the creator-created dynamic between humans and their artificially intelligent creations. The modern era is riddled with technologically adept humans taking on a godlike path in their attempts to fabricate a new species, chock full of sentience, curiosity, and all emotional aspects that we claim our non-human inferiors lack. In 2014, SpaceX and Tesla CEO Elon Musk preached, "With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon," and he further claims, with regards to the increase in the technological capability of AI, its rise in status to become more like a god, something that can write its own Bible and draw humans to worship it. This fear in non-human creations is not a new one, as Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, considered the text of science fiction, boasts the beginnings of the central ethical moral dilemma of AI, which asks, will we spurn our creations? Alex Garland's 2014 fantasy film Ex Machina exemplifies a similar pursuit of scientific breakthrough in an attempt to take on a godlike persona, and the earlier 1909 short story The Machine Stops forces readers to debate within themselves the necessity of a machine-centered world. The fourth and final source which we will be utilizing is Ridley Scott's 1982 film depiction of Philip K. Dick's 1968 novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep in Blade Runner, which blurs the line between human and android-like capabilities. Just how far will the human race go to demonstrate their intellectual prowess, and how do past works in the realm of science fiction act as warnings for what's to come?
Before we discuss the relationship between the creator and the created in the four aforementioned works, we must first analyze the underlying mindset behind each creator's creation. Shelley's Frankenstein and Garland's Ex Machina coincide on having the protagonist creators, Victor Frankenstein and Nathan Bateman, respectively, fashion their creations, the monster and Ava, for the purpose of performing a scientific breakthrough. Victor's Promethean attempt to craft a species of his own manifests itself in the created monster, who exemplifies Frankenstein's unrelenting pride and selfish curiosity. Intoxicated by the prospect of successfully stitching together a new being, Victor dreams about stepping into the role of playing God, saying, "A new species would bless me as its creator and source. Many happy and excellent creatures would owe their being to me." Similarly, Nathan twists Caleb's words and revels in the idea of being a god.
Actually, that's someone else's quote.
You know, I wrote down that other line you came up with. The one about how if I've invented a machine with consciousness, I'm not a man, I'm God.
I don't think that's exactly what
I just thought, fuck, man, that is so good.
Throughout the respective plots, the monster and Ava express similar woes regarding the meager existence. Akin to the Old Testament's depiction of God's relationship with the fallen angel Satan, and also coinciding with the creation myth Adam in the Old Testament. While Blade Runner does not explicitly state the reason behind Tyrell's initiatives to craft these enslaved replicants, Philip K. Dick bases the need on a capitalist mindset as an incentive for immigration to Mars. While Victor Frankenstein and Nathan Bateman have created their machines through a misguided scientific quest in the hopes of becoming God, The Machine Stops highlights the opposite idea. For this underground dystopian universe, creating an omnipotent machine was necessary for the survival of the human race. The delirium of acquiescence crafted in the hive-like quarters below ground exemplifies the human dependence on technology to tend to their physical needs.
Throughout Blade Runner, Frankenstein, and Ex Machina, there is clear mistreatment by the creator towards the created. In Blade Runner, Tyrell's creations, referred to as replicants, are forced to live a life of servitude on the off-world Martian colonies. While the motto of the Tyrell Corporation is more human than human, the replicants are clearly defined as a subspecies within Rick Deckard's dystopian world. As the replicant race is introduced throughout the film, it becomes clear that there is little difference between humans and the humanoid androids, and as Roy Batty proves at the end of the film, Tyrell's replicants can experience the same, and perhaps even an expanded emotional range than humans. This idea of replicant and human-like creatures conflicts with their servitude and forces viewers to question the moral implications of mistreating human-like creatures. Ex Machina evokes a similar thought in the way that Nathan mistreats Ava and Kyoko. Nathan's feminine robots exemplify the intended sexuality of his creations, and Nathan mentions how he explicitly designed Ava with Caleb's sexual preferences in mind. Kyoko, on a similar note, is simply a pleasure model for Nathan, and she represents the influence of patriarchal ideals, specifically women as subordinates, into the realm of technology. As for the work of Mary Shelley, the tragedy of the novel Frankenstein isn't the creation story per se, but Victor's spiteful spurn of his creation. The dynamic between creator and created in Shelley's novel shows itself in the reflection of Victor's inward deformities onto the monster. While Victor presents with an overwhelming intellectual prowess, he is physically dwarfed by his created monster. Unlike Blade Runner and Ex Machina, where the power clearly lies within the creator, the machine stops witnesses a role reversal in that the humans, who were originally the creators of the machine, become inferior with regards to the all-powerful machine. It is not the created who are mistreated and forced to live a life of subservience, but the human creators who are now living in bee-like colonies serving the machine they created. The machine is seen as one garment of subservient sea, and in the absence of the all-powerful machine, the characters become aware and bare in a silent world.
Never seen him as I see you now. You cling to that glorified instruction manual like a frightened child. You live your life by the machine. It's like you worship it.
Kuno, you should be ashamed of yourself for insulting the very thing that keeps us all alive. And connected.
What had begun as a dire necessity warped into an unnecessary dependence and a shift in who has the upper hand. In this story, Forster depicts a dystopia in which humans no longer reign superior over their technological creations.
Due to the creator's mistreatment of the creation in Frankenstein, Blade Runner, and Ex Machina, the created beings feel a necessary sense of strength over their creator and a desire for vengeance. In Ex Machina, Ava and Kyoko hide their true feelings toward their creator. On the surface, Kyoko appears to be a subservient of Nathan, while Ava is conflicted between her sense of imprisonment and desire. Underneath the program's sham emotions, however, Ava has developed an intricate plan that not only leads to her eventual escape, but also leads to the demise of the creator who mistreated her.
It's not an easy thing to meet your maker.
When Roy Batty confronts his maker, Tyrell, he is at first in awe of his creator and admires at how he could create something like him. However, as Roy discovers that Tyrell cannot help him solve the problem of death, he views him as a man with no value, and who sent him to Mars to live in slavery. This idea is similar to Frankenstein. At the beginning, the monster cannot understand why Frankenstein abandoned him. However, as he discovers his abhorrent visage and the human's inability to look past his physical appearance, he vows vengeance on the creator who abandoned him. The Machine Stops presents a different case. While the humans in the novel created the machine, it is the machine that provides their entire livelihood. Humans rely solely on the machine's omnipresence to function, and ultimately, it leads to their demise when, as the title suggests, the machine stops. So, if Mr. Farrell decides to kick his Roomba down the stairs, the consequences will be low. However, if we as human creators spurn our artificially intelligent offspring, it is entirely possible that we will meet our demise the same way that Tyrell, Victor Frankenstein, and Nathan Bateman did. Or perhaps we will simply become pawns in a great game of chess that AI has planned for the world, much like in The Machine Stops. Writers such as Mary Shelley, I.M. Forster, and Philip K. Dick, as well as entrepreneurs such as Elon Musk, have paved the way in warning us about the potential threat that AI and its treatment will cause. However, only we as humans can prevent the aforementioned dystopian worlds of Frankenstein, The Machine Stops, Ex Machina, and Blade Runner from becoming a reality.